Hey guys, what's going on, friends and family? I'm a nerd who cares too much about certain things, and the channel soon is going to be departing this style of video, and I'll be working more on engrossing style videos, some that might take me a week, so please pardon my laziness. But then again, this is also raw, real, actual review, in real time. So we're going to be talking about the character creator specifically, and yeah, I'm going to take my sweet time just a little bit with this one. Hope you guys can excuse that. But also do know that the way I do my reviews, they're episodic. So yeah, consider this part of the full review of Elder Scrolls. And I know it's not all like 5 minutes, pretty cutscenes, IGN style reviews. But hey, I'm doing my best, and I want to do it in a unique style, at least to me. Rest in peace, Total Biscuit. I miss him so much. So yeah, if you guys used to watch him, maybe you be a little bit more comfortable with the video. Anyways, so we're talking about the character creator. I'm not talking about the full customization once you dive really deep into the game, but I maybe can touch on that if you want to ask any questions in the comments, maybe. I can tell you that as you're creating your character, you don't really get much of a peek inside the inner workings of the game, but that's going to be most MMO. A lot of them will actually, like BDO, will show you cutscenes of the action. They will show you what your character can do. They will show you, super high level armors, and this game actually does the armor thing, but certain games will really try to tell you exactly what you're going to be playing, what its role is, things like that. But this game gives you kind of none of that. And actually, you might have seen I have a couple of characters here. I specifically made a few characters just to see if I could see, as soon as I start the game, what those characters did and if those classes followed suit. It was still very amoebus. But then again, that's also kind of part of the game. So, anyways, creating a character. You can make some ugly characters, and you can make some cool looking characters, some pretty maybe, but you're never going to be gorgeous, and you're never going to be ridiculously goofy. You're never going to be, you're never going to be any extreme, and that's kind of an issue, because I kind of wanted to make a funny video where I just showed off like a bunch of like ugly faces. Maybe I could have made a comedic video. Maybe that can soon come. I don't know, but not really. In other games you could do that. There's just not that many options. Just plain and simple, you don't have many options. And I'm actually going to complain about every little thing that I can, and I'll try to applaud, actually. This is a review. I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible. I will also applaud this game for some things that it does, but do know that when I review games, I compare and contrast not just what is within the game, but also competing games. Because you're a consumer, your time, your money's being competed with, that's how reviews should be done. Normally I do them via list videos, and you can definitely look forward to a upcoming list video of best, character creators. Spoiler alert, BDO is pretty freaking high. But here we go. Directly comparing to some of the best and some of the worst. The thing is I am so picky about character creators that I have literally quit games. Lord of the Rings Online was one of them. Runes of Magic was another. Where I quit games on the character creator. Like, that's how I just like, oh my god, this is just so bad. I quit. But in this game, we do have 3 alliances. If you guys don't know that, well, that's a thing. There are 3 alliances, and this comes into play with the PvP. Otherwise, it doesn't mean anything anymore. They actually changed that if you guys haven't played since launch. But okay, so Ebonheart Pact is going to have 3 different races, as well as the Aldmeri Dominion and Daggerfall Covenant have 3 different races. Now, my problem with this is that the diversity isn't quite evenly spread out. The Ebonheart Pact has the most diverse cast, I would say, because you do have Argonians, you do have Dark Elves, which are generally shorter. If I could zoom out here. Generally, I think they're generally shorter. And then you have Nords, which are kind of bigger. So you have a pretty diverse set of characters within this pact, this race. Then again, you're going to be seeing a lot of different people whenever you're doing PvE, so it doesn't matter anymore. I'm just saying. Now, when it comes to the mechanics and skills, this is also another problem, actually, real quick. If you're just reading these, you'll notice how vague they are. That kind of sucks. Honestly, I wish it was done more like World of Warcraft, probably. Or it just straight up showed us the abilities, we can mouse over them and see what they do. Yeah, that's probably better. Anyways, here on the Dominion, we actually had 2 elves. The one is short elf, one's tall elf, though you can make a short high elf and you can make a tall wood elf. Wood elf females can also get horns, which is pretty sexy. And then you have Khajiit. That's pretty cool. They got Khajiit. But I'm gonna be honest, I kind of wish, let's see, I think we could probably trade out Redguard. Redguard could go to the Dominion, maybe? I don't know. I know there's probably lore reasons and everything, but I'm just saying, like, they got Breton and Redguard. Like, look, like, here, this is a prime example. Look at this. Wow. Such diversity. And then you do have orcs. So orcs are pretty cool. I mean, They look weird in this game. But I do have an orc female that looks pretty, like kind of pretty. Yeah, you know? I mean, she's trying, right? I mean, I really tried with these characters to make them look good. So here's, like, this guy actually looks pretty awesome. Like, that's not so bad. That's actually really cool. But I'm gonna show you what the problem is, actually, when we get inside. So let's go ahead and go to the Argonian. Let's hit randomize appearance. So Argonians are probably the most diverse race, kind of, because they have like a lot of weird features and their colors can be so radically different. But you'll notice that their silhouettes are all very, very similar, which is okay. I guess they're a race, but there's other than the head is very dramatic, which is pretty cool. But there kind of becomes an issue. Like, look at the Argonians silhouettes. Look at the high elf silhouettes. I'm talking about their body mainly. Wood elf's body. I mean, you just see that generally the body shapes are pretty freaking similar between some races. You know, you can't, like, depending on what armor they're wearing, you really can't even tell what race they are. Then you look at games like Guild Wars 2 or World of Warcraft and you instantly know, like, that's a totally different race. It just seems a little bit more dramatic. And then you would think, okay, well, this game's the specialties is going to be in the minutia. So let's go ahead and let's pick Breton. Let's go on. We do pick a class. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but we're going to talk about the minute details, which, you know, frankly, I'm here to say they don't really exist. You have all these sliders, which, oh my God, can I rant about that? In fact, that's the reason why I'm even making this video. But yeah, you can kind of change the shape a little bit, which is cool that you get that. I will have to say though, you just have to take my word on it, unless you want to go watch my gameplay videos that I've already got up. Most characters in this game are too skinny, too tall. It really feels like the whole game is just stretched resolution, you know, vertically. Everyone is just so freaking skinny, and I know I'm a bigger, you know, muscular, maybe larger American, but I'm just saying, like, everyone is just so skinny. Like, you can, I don't know, but this might be a little bit big, to be honest. But frankly, here's the thing: some people might want even bigger. I mean, honestly, if you look at the new race in World of Warcraft, we get like a big old gut, but we also get much bigger arms, much bigger feet. You know, let's just make the biggest guy we can. And look at this. We can't even make this guy too dark. Breton can't be darker than that? Really? I mean, okay. You know, maybe we can stretch everything to the max. Let's bring it to the max. Let's see how big this boy can get. Maybe then. No, you know what? There really are bigger people in the world. Like, is this the max that we can do? And of course, there's reasons for that. You know, mechanical reasons why, like, armors wouldn't fit over people and things like that. I get it. So this is a big boy. You know, if he's wearing... But I think, actually, if he's wearing armor, if he's wearing a robe, are you going to really feel that? No gear? Hell yeah, you see that. That's a big boy. Yeah, that's a big dude. Champion gear. Gonna be honest, he doesn't look as big. I mean, sure, but like in motion, in game, you're not really gonna notice it. Maybe in this makes it dramatic. It's just, overall, I just don't think there's really too much extremes. And of course, there's a reason why I quit Lord of the Rings as well as Runes of Magic, and that's because you can go too extreme. But what I'm saying is, I just feel like we should be able to, I mean, this gut is pretty okay, but I don't know, I feel like we could do more, especially when it comes to the sexuality. I think that the butt size could definitely be increased, and we're gonna go change, actually, let's go change the sex. The butt size could definitely be bigger. Here we go, I think everything is still maxed. This is as big of a woman as you can make in this game. And as you can see, the breasts are, I think maybe you could almost consider that the American average. The largest breasts, definitely the Russian average, the largest breasts you can have in this game are probably average breasts in Russia. Russia is known for very, very large average breast size, but still, I'm just saying. You know, the butt isn't that big either. And yeah, sure, maybe my views are skewed because I like BDO, I like Black Desert Online. Blade and Soul and Black Desert Online. I like those kind of games, I like those kind of customizations, but I also really like Guild Wars. I thought Guild Wars did a really good job with their races, and I'm just saying. Anyways, so the sliders they're pretty tame, and that's okay. You know, when it comes to the sizing, I'm gonna say that's okay, though I do wish when it came to the sexual organs, and features, I wish you could go a little bit bigger. I wish you could be a little bit more dramatic. I wish you had more options to make your character more unique. I mean, look, like what is it? What is that? Does that slider even need to exist at this point? Personally, I would much rather have presets as well. That's another thing to say. There's no presets. So all you can do is hit randomize until maybe you get something that is a good starting point for you. And then, yeah, also, we got to talk about those tattoos. Oh my God, I'm going to talk about everything. I do like that the game, I will say this. I know I've been complaining about it, but the fact that there is somewhat strict limits on what you can do with your characters, I do appreciate, okay? However, in combination with everything else that I'm going to complain about, you do really start to feel the limitations. So as we hit randomize, you're going to notice that not too many archetypes of characters. Maybe an Oriental, maybe Irish. You can make a few characters, and of course it's going to come more to life as you get armors and things like that. But still, a lot of people are going to be running around with pretty similar armor. And when it comes to the face, there's not too much going on. And I guess let's just go down all these different settings. So let's go ahead and the mark. Okay, let's start with Suicide Girl here. Okay, let's go. Burning Angel. So we can change the face a little bit. I do kind of like that. Now, one thing that is very much applauded is that you can change the voice. So this is not done in many games. It's not done to the greatest extent here. We do have a lot of options though. I do appreciate that. But what I see in a lot of Eastern games is they give you options and they give you a pitch slider. So then you can even further customize the voice. I don't think people really realize how important the voice is when it comes to having your own character, because you're going to be hearing the grunts, the screams. Other people are going to be hearing these things, maybe voice clips. This is a huge part of what your impact is going to be in the game in terms of like the social dynamic. It's huge, and when it comes to role play, it's very important to me. I literally cannot play a character that doesn't sound the way I kind of want him to sound. That's why I couldn't play Draenei. I couldn't play male Draenei. I don't know. I just couldn't. I don't know. But I could definitely jam to a blood elf. Okay. Anyways, so okay, here's another thing to complain about, because we're just going down the list of things that we can slide. Okay. So you see, look at this. You see how the voice is a drop-down menu because there's a very, select presets, things to use here. Now, the hairs are select presets. There is no sliding of hair. Then why the hell is it set as a slider? Why is it not a drop-down menu of which you could say, long fringed hair, mohawk, braided, I don't know, princess braid or something like that? Why? Also, talking about the hair colors, they are so boring. These hair colors are so boring. Also, the number of hairstyles is incredibly limiting. Not only are these hairstyles limiting for any one race, actually most races share the same hairstyles. Yeah, I'll prove that later as well, but anyways, the age feature is very welcome. I do appreciate that, though I think most people just drop it all the way down to the left. The adornments are kind of interesting. You do get some cool gems and things. I can't really complain about that, I suppose. Again, it would be nice to have a drop-down menu. It would. Now the head markings, these are also all the tattoos, all those things, most of them are shared between the What? Motherfucker, what the hell? There's some weird shit on her eye. Anyways, some weird eyelash stuff going on. But, that one's objectively the best. The makeup one, actually, they really should have more head markings that are technically makeup, to make your character look more gorgeous, because there's really not many, sexualized elements to this game. So here we have eyeliner, and there might be another eyeliner. I guess there was like, kind of, there's not really anything dramatic or special, and there's a lot of weird stuff that are these fitting for this race? This looks more orcish. In fact, I wouldn't doubt if this is an orc paint. If I just don't. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not an Elder Scrolls, veteran. This makes sense, possibly. This makes sense. This makes sense as well. I just don't know if some of these canonically make sense. Really, like this one maybe. I don't know. This looks Argonian. I don't know. But anyway, so some of this stuff is weird. There's not many options. You can, you do have your sliders, so you can make, you can kind of customize your character, but like some of this stuff just doesn't, it almost doesn't impact too much. really, I just don't know. I feel like that we're missing a lot of options. You know, like different types of noses. I don't think you hold on. Like, yeah, you can kind of change the nose shape, but you don't get entirely different noses. I mean, I guess maybe if you fiddle with these, you might be able to make something. But a preset would, you know, it would be really awesome if you said nose and then there was presets right here, brows, and then you just had presets right here, eyes, presets. You know, if we just had like a little drop-down menu of presets and then sliders, that would be fantastic. And you wouldn't have to do anything extra, you know? It just makes it easier to use, and that's the problem with sliders, is not everyone is a sculptor, especially since you're not literally sculpting, which you can in BDO. In BDO, you can literally drag and drop on the face, and that's much, much more intuitive. This game, it's so much more finicky and awkward, and really, if you just included presets, you have no idea how much of an easier time new players would have getting into your game, and then getting into the roleplay, getting into the RPG, and having fun. And this has kind of been a problem with Elder Scrolls as a whole. But yeah, I just feel like we're missing a couple options. But I will say this, in terms of like hairstyles and, you know, ornaments and things like that, they do actually sell those things in the crown shop, which I'm gonna say, I can't believe that you guys let that happen. I can't believe that you guys are allowing the crown shop to exist in the way it does. There's a whole review on that. But really, the base game, like, you should have included those additions, just like World of Warcraft did and many other games. Whenever they added new customizations, they have like costumes and things. Maybe that goes in the cash shop, and maybe there's some very specific hairstyles that they throw up in the cash shop. But like, just this game needs a general addition of new hairstyles, you know, new ornaments, new things like that, just for everybody to make unique characters. And it just desperately needs it. And you just went ahead and added it to the cash shop. That's weird. Anyways. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you some of the different races here, and you can clearly see the hairstyles. Look, between a Breton and an orc having the same hairstyle. It's pretty ridiculous. Now, of course, Redguard's gonna maybe have a little bit different hair, but honestly, does this even look like a Redguard? This doesn't look like Redguard. This looks like a Breton. I bet I could literally make a Breton that looks almost just like this. I don't think that the difference between certain races is really there. Not really, like, oh, this one's taller, this one's shorter, at least there's that, but they're the exact same height, same almost everything. Oh, are Redguards a little bit thicker? Oh shit, I'm about to make a Redguard? Girl. Tell me. Okay. Anyways. Also, there's Imperial, but that's locked behind DLC. That really should be given away for free right now, but whatever. Yeah, so, you know, like, look at this. 1, 2, 3 different races, which you have 9 races. You only have 9 races, my dudes. 9 races, which they all play together, by the way, now. And you're gonna have all these characters running around looking somewhat identical at the start, maybe even all the way through the game. The character creator is just so lacking, sorely lacking. Really, your choices are a human, you know, an elf, an orc, Argonian, and cat. You really have 1, 2, 3 humans, and frankly, I'm gonna count 4 humans, because yeah, dark elf is its own thing. It's really hard to make a normal looking human. But with wood elf and high elf, both of those, you could, with the sliders, with the skin, with the hair, make it look less elfish and more general human. But now let's kind of scroll down here. We do actually have the racial skills. Now that does matter. It could debatably matter a lot, actually. Now I'm sure you could probably clear all the content, whatever, but leveling and your comfortability while leveling, and literally, like, a lot of these races, they level faster with certain gear and different playstyles. That really kind of does matter, and I wish it was just more clear. Of course, I already mentioned that. But the combination of them and the classes, again, like the classes, what the fuck? This says nothing. It shows no abilities. It shows no video footage of what that gameplay is going to be like. And, you know, I've definitely got some issues with, even when you're in-game, with the class system, because it doesn't even show you the future morphs of what even the playstyle could be. And this shows nothing about the roles of the game, which is a huge component. This game is a Trinity-focused game. It doesn't tell you what's a healer, tank, DPS, because frankly, like, really, truthfully, any class can play any role and probably do it okay. But the thing is like, you know, you might think that, but Dragon Knight, are you going to be a healer while leveling? You're not going to be really a Dragon Knight healer. you're not gonna get too much special, unique stuff with Dragonite. You're mostly just gonna be using the healing staff. Where Templar has its own healing line as well. Nightblade actually has some fun heals you can just jump on with. I don't know about Sorcerer, probably not. But, you know, some just have a certain playstyle early on. And you'd think Nightblade wouldn't have a healing spec, but it does. They don't mention anything like that. Stealth, blades, and speed, but it actually, like, they should mention how this is, it could be a drain tank. You know, they should mention gameplay fantasies, not just thematic fantasies, but gameplay fantasies. So this can be a drain tank, this can be a vampiric healer, and you can pretty much start out the game like that. For the most part, you just jump in and you almost immediately get siphon abilities. You know, you can actually, you take your own health to heal other players. There's a really cool gameplay mechanic. The Templar is very paladin-y. And I mean, I think they actually do see right here, enemies while restoring health, magicka, stamina to their allies. They do kind of mention that, the role that the Templar plays, but the Nightblade, they kind of focus on stealth. Just overall, the descriptions are light. Really, you know nothing about the mechanics. So please place, you know, core abilities, you know, down here. If you could, dude, you got so much space right here. Please put a little video, play a little video, or maybe like a little video here with an extra description, and maybe you can click on different, you know, like, okay, playing it as a tank, playing it as a healer, playing it, you know, click through it. That'd be really fantastic. More faces, please. More hair, much more hair, and I'm fine with the limitations of the body, but I do wish we could have more dramatic sexual organs. And actually, specifically, so with the girls, yes, I do want larger busts, larger butts, but with the guys, see, I'm not sexist. With the guys, I'm gonna need debatably larger arms, because you can make a really skinny person. I really want a super muscular person. Larger arms would be great. Much wider and skinnier, you know, shoulders and things. Also larger feet. I think the feet and hands could be a little bit bigger, a little bit more ridiculous would be nice. And also, I think the head size for a lot of guys is not quite right. I've made a lot of Bretons and Nords, and I don't know, there's something weird about the head size. I'm just feeling weird about it. Anyways, maybe that's just me. But men need more beards. Men need many more hairstyles. Men specifically need more hairstyles. Men's hair, there's just almost none. So with the girls, yeah, but with men, oh my God, it just, like, this is okay, but what is, it's just dreaded Leonardo DiCaprio? Like, what am I supposed to think? There's a bunch of buzz cuts. There's a lot of hairstyles that are very unfantastic. Girls actually get some fantasy hairstyles. A lot of guys are just like, what? They're just balding. Just like a bunch of receding hairline losers. I don't know what to say. This guy's combing it forward so you can't tell like I do on stream. You know, you got a couple hairstyles, but every male, like in every race, uses the same hairstyles. It's ridiculous. So, you know, these are the characters I've made that I tried, you know, to make look handsome. I don't know. I did my best. That's the most beautiful orc I could come up with. So if you can come up with better, then let me know. But in the end, I'm just overall very unimpressed with the menu design, with the opening character creator of this game. It's not very evocative. You know, like World of Warcraft has the music, you get the different backgrounds, which I mean, I guess you do here, but it's not as hard hitting, I think, in my opinion. Maybe it could be. Maybe it's fine enough. I guess it's fine enough. That could just be my bias. Okay, I'll admit that. I do have a bias toward the overall art style of this game, so please take a lot of what I'm saying with, you know, grain of salt. But in the end, what I can say is if you do appreciate this art style and you appreciate all of this, then I think even more so, you wish that you could have, you know, more impact to make the character that you want. And I just feel that there's not enough role play potential, or, you know, you're making your character. We're all doing a little bit of a role play as we make our character. We're literally creating the role. I think we all want just a little bit more uniquity. If that comes with, there's dying in the game. It'd be awesome if we could choose our starter colors, like we do in RuneScape. It's something small that later on doesn't even matter, but maybe it could. You know, maybe it's just a little thing. It's all these little things that could be easily implemented that would make the experience so much better for new players. And it wouldn't be that much either. You know, that orc, that's as thick of an orc as I could get. Damn, I like the shading on the robes. That really brings it out. Anyways, also, one last thing to complain about is the hair coloring. is, and this is like in almost every game, but in the character creator, you don't actually see the real lighting engine, and the colors might be a little bit off. A lot of Eastern games allow you to demo different zones. I'm just saying, there's a lot of games that do a lot of other extra things, and this game is totally missing all of that, so of course I'm going to mention it. But not only are they missing a lot of extra features, they are missing some fundamental things. So take what I've said. Obviously, I do have my bias, because I generally don't appreciate this art style. I'm more of a Guild Wars or World of Warcraft kind of boy. I do like more of a cel-shaded look, maybe like Overwatch. Things like that is really more, in my opinion, technically better, because it's more clear, more concise, it has more color and literal character. But for this, I'm actually surprised that they're going to be so down to earth and not have things as ridiculous. I'm just surprised that they have such a limitation on the character creators. Not only that, but one last thing to end cap the video, which is almost beside the character creator, but the fact that there is only, well, we're going to get a new class, but we only have this many races. I guess this is fine enough for this style of game. It is low fantasy, whatever. Though I always have a complaint about how Khajiit, like, look at Char versus Khajiit. At least Argonians have a little bit more extra, I think, going on with them, maybe. They just seem a little bit extra. I just think Khajiit could look a little bit more feral. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, they just kind of look like bad furry, fan art. That's the bias coming out. But anyways, classes. We only have 5 and now 6 classes. In my opinion, this game should have launched with 6 classes, because most of the abilities that exist in the game are outside of the class dynamic. The classes are really there to pepper in the flavor of the different weapons that you're going to be using and the different guild abilities. And I think it should have launched with 6. And these classes are cool and fun. Some are seemingly more shoehorned than others. I think Templar is very versatile. I actually think Nightblade is very versatile. And then Dragon Knight is just hype as hell. But yeah, I would I do the limitation of the classes is something to worry about. And I'm just saying, as a new player, seeing how a lot of the races look similar, how the art style is very similar, the themes overall are very constrained and contained, and then you see that mechanically, it's like, I don't know, all these classes kind of look similar. And then when you actually get in the game and you notice that everyone's using the same weapons, generally the same abilities over and over, it can immediately run a new player awash. The game's awash. It's gonna run them away, I think. And that's just, the new player experience, and that's all part of the character creator. Hopefully you guys understand that. The champion gear is pretty cool though, that you do have the option. I can say that. It's like, oh, champion gear, sweet. Though, yeah, I don't know what to say. It's pretty cool. Anybody can wear the different styles of armor though. So maybe this is kind of something that is, I remember watching, Asmongold. Asmongold was like, oh man, I gotta be a Nord because their champion gear looks the coolest. But anybody can wear any of the different styles of armor, and the character creator actually is awry. It runs you awry. So yeah, some a little bit of a tragedy there, friendos. So, anyways, I think that's covering everything that I can. Overall, I guess I'm going to reiterate the pros and cons just real quick. There's a lot of cons, so maybe I'll just reiterate the pros. The pros, I do like that there's a limitation on the character silhouettes to an extent in the individual races. Though it does suck that between all the different races, everyone generally looks the same, has the same physique, and yeah, it's a little bit tragic there. Hairstyles are pretty ridiculous, but I do like some of them, and I do appreciate the attempt to be pseudo, like almost historically accurate, at least toward the Elder Scrolls games. But this is an MMO. This is a little bit bigger and extra, as we can see with the different classes, the mechanic design, and I think you can allow yourself a little bit more liberty when it comes to the overall designs of these characters. I don't see why Wood Elves can't have more intricate, and the horns are cool, but I wish there was more options for the different horns, just overall more options, big macro options. I don't care that you have all these sliders, and it's actually okay that they're very limiting to an extent, but just give us more macro options, that'd be great. But overall, I do have to applaud, that the sliders are okay, just please give us presets, because most people don't even know how to use sliders. That's pretty much it, other than the fact that you do have a character limit. That's pretty weird, and you can pay to have more characters. I don't know what's up with that. I guess you got to pay for the server space. I don't know. World of Warcraft lets you have infinite, but then again, it's a subscription game. I don't know. It's just, that's kind of weird. But at this point, I'm nitpicking, and there is nothing else that I can really talk about other than that. That's going to be the end, I do believe, of the review, the full review of the character creator for this game. Totally wordy, a lot of words being sent at you, but hopefully you received them very well. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you understood, my biases coming into this, and if I said something too harsh, just understand, I'm really mean, okay? And you have to also understand that when playing MMOs, most MMOs are very ugly. It's very hard to get immersed in MMOs, and any little help from the beginning, from the little character creator all the way through the game, you're playing with this character, any little bit that you can do to help really will carry through, I think, the whole player experience. And then being in an MMO, seeing other players, how they interact. If everyone generally looks the same, feels the same, people feel that, okay? We see that, we feel that, and it kind of makes the game a little bit worse. So just little things do add up, which is why I know you added it to the cash shop. You know these things make an impact. You know people want these things. Yeah, actually, if you're gonna add more crazy hairstyles to the cash shop, which might be slightly unhistoric, unauthentic to the Elder Scrolls series, I'm fine with that. Actually, that'd be really cool. I'm sure people would buy that to look a little bit more dramatic, have that flair, that fantasy flair. But move the things that are already in the cash shop, all those additions, please put those in the character creator. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, everyone stands the same, and I think Argonian should have a little bit more of a hunch. I'm just saying, as well, as Khajiit being more animalistic, possibly. But then again, I understand why you have the animations and everything. But the consumer's the consumer, and I just think that everything's a little bit too samey. But that's just how Elder Scrolls is, right? All right, though, that's my biases getting regurgitated out. We're rambling. We're done with the character creator. Overall, I honestly give it a C grade. It's just barely passable, and it's awkward to use. And really, it kind of is a challenge and a hassle to make your character stand out in this game, especially because of the art style. So I can't help but let my biases shine through, because in this game, which is so kind of down to earth, almost low, it's like the lowest high fantasy game I've ever seen in my life, especially for MMOs. It's really hard to make your character stand out at all in the least. Even when you have like super high level gear, it's like, oh man, it's like mid-level gear in a lot of other games, which maybe is something you appreciate. I don't know. It's up to you guys to decide. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. I talked a lot, now it's your turn. But all I can ask is you keep the hype alive. And remember that I'm actually streaming Elder Scrolls Online right now. My reviews are episodic, and I've got a lot of videos coming out, and I'm going to finish Elder Scrolls Online. I'm going to let you guys know everything, and this is probably going to be one of the last reviews that I really do unless we get funding from the Patreon or donations through the streams to continue to play this game, its expansions, or other games. This is my kind of last Hail Mary as, I guess, a failing YouTuber. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been a lot of fun. It really has. And I'll see you in the next one.